and well-being. We're making a lot of waves in the world with kind of like our research. We've got climate change and net zero. That's another key area that we're focusing in our research. One of the projects we're working on is the modern energy cooking services. So it's actually been, the UK government has actually heavily invested in us to kind of like conduct this research. Because if you, many of you will know, you've been to rural areas, people still use fire, like they still use wood to make fire to cook. And what we're doing is a research to kind of like create like a stove or something that they can cook that's sustainable. That's one of the projects that I'm quite familiar with. Also got, well, it's just so many. I couldn't go through all of them now. But yeah, you at least you're getting to see some of like the impact that we're making as far as like the research for our own media stations, kind of like session as well. Yeah, I think that covers everything on research. And one thing that I know they do really well is also invest in students that want to get in research. So I know there might be some PhD students involved. Definitely will be happy to kind of like give you a brief on that afterwards. What we also offer, especially for any undergraduate students here, that I know a lot of universities would offer for every course, is a placement year. Whether it's humanities courses, whether it's criminology, psychology, all the courses that generally wouldn't have a placement, we actually offer a placement year on every single course. And we really do give a lot of students, we definitely give students our support. What I like about our careers team, every university really should have a careers team. I think every university in the UK does have a careers team. What makes ours stand out is that it's decentralized. And what I mean by that, it's decentralized by department. So most universities will have a careers team for the whole university, but with us it's by department. Like the business school have their own careers team, the science school have their own careers team, engineering school have their own careers team, because they understand they all have different needs, different opportunities. So you can get kind of like a tailor-made kind of support when you're looking for jobs. And they help you from telling you how to dress from your interview, little trivials like that, to helping you with your CV, and most importantly, telling you the job opportunities that are out there. Because there's certain opportunities that you will not find advertised anywhere apart from the LAFRA website. So these are the things that we can help you with. These are just some of the companies that we work with, and I think there's a lot more. The difference between an average or a low-ranked university, when they say they work with a certain company, and a top university saying they work with a top company, is that when our students go to these companies, they actually doing a placement or a job that's related to what they study. They're doing relevant work. So they're not the person that's fetching teas and coffees for everyone in that company, but they're doing, if it's engineering, they're sort of like within that particular department. So that's one thing that we're also proud of, that we try and say, not just in the right company, but also in the right position. I don't know if you see, is it me? No, okay. So yeah, another very good example that I like mentioning is Rolls-Royce. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the company Rolls-Royce. Their whole research and development center in the whole UK is actually based on our campus. So we do a lot of projects with them, certainly a lot of research projects with them. So they work a lot with our academics, research partners. So they will look at our course content and tell us, you know what, this is not so relevant anymore. These are actually the challenges that we're facing now. This is what you should teach. This you shouldn't teach. They sort of like help us actually form the work that we provide for our students. All these companies will be Rolls-Royce. And in return, a company like Rolls-Royce will have jobs that are exclusively just for Latin students. And it's just that each Rolls-Royce only has 10 jobs that are just for Latin students. So I'm sure you've heard of people that have really great jobs after they graduate, and you're wondering how. I've been looking at which websites do you find these jobs. And the honest truth is some people are finding these jobs through connections, through links. It's not always available to everyone. And we wholeheartedly believe that your network is your network. Who you know who will take you far in life. And LabWork tries to be that connection to kind of like put you in front of the right people, whether it's through guest lectures, whether it's through our career space and events that we hold. That's why our students generally perform a lot higher than graduates from any other university. So when people say, is there much of a difference between a top uni and an average uni? Statistically, if you look at the average starting salary, there is. So I'll use, for example, if you're a just a graduate, generally, any course, the starting average starting salary will be paid £18,000. The starting salary when you do a course like engineering or another course like technical course would be 23,000. And if you go to Loughborough or a top uni, your average starting salary is generally 27,000. So you can see how the type of course and the type of university you go to actually kind of like detect the kind of salary you can get. And there's certain companies in the UK that do discriminate. If you're not in the top 20 universities, chances are they're not reading your application. They're only targeting and focusing on the top students from top 10, maybe top 20 universities. So for me, I remember when I chose Loughborough, I really wanted to give myself the best chances. I wanted to put myself in the best position basically where I could work for anyone. So yeah, that's another thing to consider. As I mentioned, we are number one in the world for sports. It wouldn't be a Loughborough presentation without a Loughborough slide on sports. So there is tournament. Many people that play sports in the room, by the way, before I. Okay, quite a few. Are you brave enough to tell me which sport it is? You want to tell me first? Oh, badminton. And you? Football. And you? Football as well. Which team do you guys support?
Madrid.
Oh, man, I went to the Premier League. And Manchester United. Oh, even worse. Oh, no. I'm joking. What about you? Oh, of course, Chelsea. Ah, interesting. No, that's pretty good to know. No, we're very big on football, so I think that's one of our key sports. The official, we work with three Premier League teams that we're partners with. I'm happy to say Chelsea is one of them. Liverpool is the other. Liverpool is the other, and the last one we work with is West Ham because they're usually next to our London campus. So yeah, we do work with a lot of our football clubs, particularly those three. And we've got 4 football pitches on campus, including a sports stadium. So I don't know if you've done your research, but it's really cool. And I think we're the only unit that actually gets proper scouts that actually come to watch our students because it's not all the best talent goes to that. So yeah, and what's so interesting when we play with other universities, let's say we're playing, okay, they're not playing this, that's a bit shady, but let's say we're playing another university, they have to use their second team and we have to use our second team to compete with their first team. Because generally, most of our first teams in a lot of sports, they're like professional level. So that's kind of like the level of competition there is when it comes to sports, which is pretty exciting. A lot of Olympians, as you can imagine, that are there training, you get your own trainer, you get a lot of support, uses of all the facilities. And usually a lot of the teams, England teams, they actually train at the Loughborough campus. Even if you are familiar with boxing, Anthony Joshua, he's heard of him, he trained at the university. So now that I've mentioned it to you, when you see him training or you see European foreigners, you actually notice the Loughborough signs in the background. We've also got the England rugby team. They've trained at the university as well, London cricket team. And fun fact for you for the day, if Loughborough University was a country, in the last Olympic Games, the 2012 Olympic Games, we would have been number 6 in the world based on the number of our students that got gold, silver, or bronze medals. That's how much sports talent we kind of like do at Loughborough. And finally on sports, because I have to go on and on and on, there's this tournament where all universities compete in a wide range of sports, and then they collect points, kind of like the Premier League, and then at the end there's like a winner. It's been running for 43 years, and Loughborough has been winning for those 43 years consecutively. So it's kind of like a joke amongst universities that they all compete for second place because it's kind of known that the Loughborough boys and girls are always going to take that crown. So yeah, that's just some of the many accolades that we have when it comes to sports. And for those of you that don't play sports, which is a lot, I've got a fun fact for you. I'm funny of this. Turns out students that play sport actually get higher paying jobs when they graduate. And when I heard that, I thought, how? Why? Well, how does that even make sense? How does it correlate? Turns out, playing sports shows a wide range of skills to employers that you wouldn't even think are skills. Because when you play sports, it shows that you're a team player, It shows that you're hardworking. It shows that you're disciplined. Because sometimes you're waking up at 6 for training at 7 and lecture at 9. It shows that you're also confident because a lot of people that play sport generally build a lot of confidence as well. So I would say you're very fortunate if you come to love even if you don't play sport because people just assume you play sports. Like me, people assume I'm into sports because I went to LAFRA. I don't correct them, they're wrong, but I just don't correct them. But that sports stigma will always follow you around as well. But I'll definitely say if you do come to LAFRA, get involved. You can still play for fun. You don't have to be playing for English. You can still play for fun if you like. And it's a big part of our culture. It's a big part of who we are as a university as well. So yeah, we host the Paralympics. That's actually a very famous Paralympic athlete. He just started with us in October. He's doing his master's like very much, but yeah, he was the host of the Paralympic Games and the Commonwealth Games as well, which happened mostly held in Birmingham. But a lot of the athletes were actually happening on our campus. My goodness, so many sports like let's not do this. So I'll just fast forward. But yeah, and then for those of you that have reports, any courses at LAFRA London, if any of you know, okay. So it does feel like there's a lot of LAFRA London students here, but we also do have the option of LAFRA London, particularly for postgraduate, only for postgraduate students actually. So we're actually in Stratford, in the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. That's kind of sector located, very much a growing kind of sector community. Our main campus remains the East Midlands campus. Yeah. LAFRA London? Yeah, for postgraduate. Yes. Oh. Yes. So yeah, that's what you're applying for. Yeah. So it will be you as well. Okay. I'll definitely tune in a little bit more after it. So very exciting campus, very vibrant. And then they do a lot of hands-on work, as you can imagine, because they are the hub of, all the opportunities in the UK and everything. So, yeah, I won't go too much into that. Just to recap a couple of points to note, if you don't remember everything, LAFRA is a prestigious university. You can rest assured that you're coming to a solid university. When there's 150 universities, and you're spending a lot of money anyway, you want to know that you're getting the best of what that country has to offer. Britain generally has the best education in the world. You can fight me afterwards if you disagree, that's fine. But I believe Britain has the best reputation for education. And LAFRA in the UK is a very respected, prestigious university in the UK as well. So yeah, that's something we're really proud of. A lot of courses we still reside in the top 10, just like our average kind of like ranking as well. We've been voted many, many times the best university of the year, and best student experience. This means more to us than any academic because this is the students telling us how they feel. Many universities only wish that we've even been nominated. For us to have been voted 7 times the best university in the UK is something we don't take lightly, and we just speaks to kind of like the student experience that our students really have. So yeah, that's a little bit about the campus. I won't go into too much detail about everything else because you might not find it relevant. But this is how I see my chancellor. You'll actually be here end of next month. So for those of you that wanted to come, it will be a wonderful event. It's going to be quite big. So we definitely will be inviting prospective students. He's got a very good profile. One of the main people in the UK that kind of like he's an artificial intelligence, just a fun fact about him. So yeah, he'll be here with a lot of other senior colleagues and Dr. Chella will be here as well. So yeah, in due time we will get information on this. If I reach out to you about this event, I'll definitely reach out to you about the visit next month as well. So just keep your eye on that. But yeah, I won't go too much into this. I just wanted, there's a few slides that I forgot to get, so I'll just say them. And that is on, yeah, that is on entry requirements. So for entry requirements for undergraduate students, the main entry requirements for most of our courses generally are AAB, including, and then for certain courses like engineering, we would need maths and one science like physics. But if it's something like sports management, sports science, computer science, it would kind of be a little bit higher, there would be AAA. But generally, most of our subjects, the entry requirements would be AAB. For those of you that are saying what AAB, that's an A level or A level equivalent. So you wouldn't be able to go in straight from YX into your degree program. It definitely needs to be either A levels, international baccalaureate, or foundation. And I know there's a lot of really good foundation schools here in Nigeria as well. But that's the main entry requirements for undergraduate students. Postgraduate students, most of our courses require a 2-1. So that's a GPA of at least 3.5 and above. But there's certain courses that really would take 2-2 as well. So it's just a matter of double checking which course you're applying for and seeing what those entry requirements are. And in terms of English requirements, if you've got your YX in English, grade C and above, and that was taken in the last 10 years, then you don't have to do any other English tests like IELTS or anything else. However, if your YX is not grade C or is over 10 years old, that's when you would expect another English qualification like IELTS, even a step Duolingo, which is also like a cheaper, quicker option as well. So yeah, those are kind of like the main English requirements that we do accept. Now moving on to fees and funding, that's another big one. I'm glad all of you, it looks like you've got flyers on the table. If you flip at the back of the flyers, you'll be able to see kind of like our fee structure, average fee structure for most of our courses. And I have managed to actually put them in there as well, but I've been told that you're currently doing something. So I don't know how accurate those figures are, but it kind of like does give you like a rough idea of what our fees are in terms of undergraduate, postgraduate, or PhD scholarships. I know I'm going to be getting a lot of questions on that. For undergraduate students, if you do achieve AAA, you will get like a 25% scholarship in your first year, which is a significant amount. If you're a master's student, there's a guaranteed 20% scholarship. If you're a postgraduate student for research and you're applying from Africa, this scholarship is only available in this year. I'm working super hard to try and get it approved next year, but I don't know if that's with all everything that's happening in the UK market. I don't know if I can guarantee that, but certainly for this year, for the 20% scholarship available for postgraduate students, 20% off is about £4,500. I didn't do it in net, so the is that strong, but on average, how much? 4,000, even better. Thank you. So yeah, and if you find like the most affordable accommodation on campus, like where I stayed, any of your job research, I stayed at Falcon Egginton. My accommodation then was about 4,300 for the whole year. So I believe now it's about 4,900 or 5,200, one of those. By UK standards, that's very good. I'll tell you that, especially compared to like a place like standard. That is the most affordable accommodation. There's different types of accommodation depending on your preference, your lifestyle, or your budget. I was driven by budget, so I went for the most affordable, even at £4,500. The cost of Eglinton. There's also accommodation, and by type of accommodation was where you have your room, but then you're sharing all the other communal areas, your kitchen, the bath, the games room, laundry room, all of that. And for me, it was fine because they got cleaners that clean it every day, so I didn't have any issues and I saved a lot of money. But then there's certain students that cannot imagine, sharing the bathroom or for whatever reasons, religious reasons or whatever it is, you might want your own bath. So there's also like ensuite rooms where you can get your own room and your own bath, and then you just share the kitchen and other stuff. That would be slightly more expensive, but still by UK standards, very, very affordable. And then some people prefer, especially postgraduate students, they prefer to just stay on campus. That's an option as well. I love the campus so much. I highly recommend being on campus, but I also understand that certain postgraduate students maybe should be on campus. I would like to reassure for postgraduate students that there is accommodation just for postgraduate students. You don't have to worry about living next to an 18-year-old that just got their freedom for the first time and they want to party. Because they've got their accommodation, you've got your own accommodation. So yeah, it was quite peaceful for me, it was quite fine. So yeah, that's it on accommodation. We do have accommodation available. It would be the worst thing in the world to have the second largest campus in the UK and no accommodation. So we're very proud of the fact that we do offer accommodation. Some universities don't guarantee accommodation, or if they do, it's only for first year. with us you can actually stay throughout the duration of the course. So that's another thing that really does stand out about our accommodation. So other students, they want catered homes where you food is provided for you 3 times a day. That would be, of course, a little bit more expensive as well. But if you're like me and you want to eat what you want to eat and you want to be told you're having beans and toast, then maybe self-catered homes are better, and to be fair, they're more common. But like I said, there's a lot of sports athletes and a lot of people that are training, so they don't have time to cook. So maybe catered homes will be better for them. So like I said, it's just really about preference, lifestyle, or budget. But yeah, the website will have all the different homes that you kind of like that are available to you. So yeah, I think I've covered everything, almost things. I would just like to now open the floor for questions, and please feel free to ask because yes, we're going to have the one-to-one session. You might ask a question that someone didn't think to ask any credit system as well. So yeah, is there any questions? Who's brave enough to ask the first question? And I'm not moving by the way till I get a T-spot question. So yeah, someone asking. The postgraduate campus, the London campus. So yeah, with the London campus, it's not for every postgraduate course. They specialized courses that we think really need to be on the London campus because of the job opportunities what they're making. So it's in the center of 60 to 20% of London. It's in Stratford. I don't know if you know Stratford, but it's like literally where the last Olympic Games were. It's one of the main parts of like London basically. And it's yeah, it's sort of like it's like there's a few other universities that are there, like UCL, University of College of London, and I think Imperial is quite close to me as well. But yeah, it's sort of like in the center of London. It's not for every master's course, there are very few selected courses. But I think there's like 100 programs that run there. So it is smaller than the main campus, but it's got really niche, really standout courses like the digital finance course, entrepreneurship and innovation, other sports innovation or something is there as well. So there's like really much niche and practical courses there. But yeah, that's the question. Yes. Okay, like if someone applied and they got an answer from the doctor. Yes. And they asked for like the ID to be verified. Yes. For instance, they got 24. What would they do? That's a very good question. So it now depends on what course. Okay, so the thing is, any other course, I would say they might practice a little bit of leniency. But sports management, sports science, computer science, mechanical engineering are sort of like the courses that are very difficult to get in, etc. So I don't want to say they wouldn't consider it at all, but generally they tend to be a lot stricter because there's a lot more kind of like applications for those courses. But that's when you need some sort of like something that stands out, extracurricular activities, a very strong personal statement, good references, those things would be considered as well. But 34 is so close. And you can't predict the ID. You can't, yeah. Like it's just one exam and yeah. And what normally happens, normally they say 135, and then so admissions just deal with it. But sometimes when it's 34, and the admissions officer can see this is a really good application, that's when they'll forward it to the academics to say, what do you think? Do you think this student
It's possible.
It's possible. Absolutely. 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 Yeah. That's all right. Yes, and it's sorry, especially for postgraduate students as well. Let's say you needed a GPA of 3.5 or 3.4. Most postgraduate students have some level of experience as well. So that is something that's worth kind of like including as well in the application.
So you have to leave it was to have to get us.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Let me give you my this oh, my contact details are on there, so you can put any questions. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes. So for the undergraduate one, you don't have to apply for it. It's just about getting that 888. It automatically gets 55%. But if you got something like ABB or AAB, you don't get A levels. or an equivalent of A levels. That's the entry requirements to get into university.
Okay, now
Okay,
carry on.
okay, 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 okay.
So how do you if
Normally they should say that in the offer, but normally if you don't have an AAA equivalent or something close, they'll offer at least 10% or something. So yeah, you can email me afterwards and I can just ask if they, any scholarship has been allocated because it's automatically when you have to apply for it. Yeah, and it should be written on the offer letter that you that this company is provided.
okay, email
Okay.
or learn how to talk.
A document and I can offer letter. I think that would be given in June. Yes, when the results came out, I think that's when it would come out. That's when we see the scholarship has been allocated actually. Yeah. So yeah, it would be worth me to just double check in the recommendation. So this is 2019. 2019. Okay. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. So yeah, to share everything out. Yes.
I'm looking at the country. ABC
Okay.
but on a lecture, I'm not yes. But I'm going to ask what's the outlook like on the scholarship?
Sorry?
What's the outlook like
Okay.
on the scholarship on that?
Okay, okay. So it's not, it wouldn't be a subject specific scholarship. We don't have subject specific scholarships. We get apart from MBA in data science. Those are the only courses I know that have for their own scholarships. Generally, those called business university scholarships. So those scholarships that I know a lot of people will be asking about is the global impact scholarship. Deadline is end of this month. If you need to have an offer before you apply for that one. So if you don't have an offer yet, if you want to apply for that one, I definitely encourage you to create an application and stuff. The other scholarship we have is the African Development Trust scholarship. That's more competitive because chances are only getting one Nigerian student. We have over 500 applications and only one Nigerian student gets it. We definitely want that first class GPA the highest possible. We want someone that's making sort of like what do they call it? Like people that are making some sort of social impact, basically. That is your degrees beyond self-serving, beyond I want to get out of the country, or it's beyond I want to get this degree so I can get this nice job, make loads of money, buy a nice house and a nice car. But it's more about I identify these issues in my community and society. I think I can be a solution by doing so and so and so. If I do this course, this is how this course will help me achieve this dream. This is what I've done with the little I have, but I think I can do a lot more with this with this scholarship from this experience that I get. And generally, that's the application. That's the cheat code that I've just given in terms of what we're looking for those school scholarships. So we are looking for those like social ambassadors, people that kind of want to make some type of positive impact within their communities. So that would be the main end requirement for main thing that we look at. But definitely the main thing we need to align. First class, we also want students that possibly haven't studied abroad before to give them the opportunity to. Yeah, so those are just the new criteria that we look at for that scholarship. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to ask on the payments of
Yes.
installment.
Yes, that's a very good question. So the first payment is a deposit. This is only for master's students, postgraduate students. Undergraduate students actually don't pay deposits. So for postgraduate students, to secure your place and to get your pass letter, you need to pay £2,500. So that's technically the first payment. It's not an additional amount to your tuition fee, it's a down payment. And then after that, by the time you start, you need to make another payment. And then around January, February, you need to make another payment. So it's sort of like every 3, 4 months we expect a payment. But it's like 3 payments installments available. Yeah. So it's not like you want to clear it all, but you can kind of like break it down. Yeah. Yeah. For funds, yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good question. For applying for the scholarship, proof of funds is the key thing that could, if you're this close, because keep in mind, like, I'm getting so many applications that are like top quality. I'm going to give the scholarship to someone who I know can afford living expenses. For some students are amazing, but the scholarship is only tuition. I still need to know that if I do give you the scholarship, you can afford your rent, your food, and upkeep. So I would want like a clear statement. I'll give you an example of someone that did this very well. They would, I don't even think if you attended the scholarship webinar that I did some couple of months ago. Okay, so you heard from one of the scholarship recipients. So what you need to do, even if it's just on a Word document, to say, I understand my living expenses are 9,200 in this, because rent for the year is going to be this, my food for the year is going to be this, so the total amount I need for living expenses is this. This is what I have so far. This is the proof, and then I'm going to get the rest through so and so income. Doesn't have to be complicated. Like the guy that he submitted, so some people they don't even know how much living expenses are. Like one guy said, "Oh, my living expenses are going to be 30,000 pounds." So I was like, "Okay, clearly you've not done your research because you know it should be between 9,000 to 12,000, and you show like a breakdown of where that money goes. So that already shows that you know kind of like what you're going to do with the money." And when I ask for a financial statement, I don't expect to see the full 9,000 to 12,000 in your account. The over half would be good, or half, then it shows that you've got somewhere to start. And then you've got a clear plan. So what that guy that the presentation did is that he then also attached the letter of his uncle saying that he's going to help him with the rest of his fees as well. Like the rest of his living expenses. So he was saying already at £5,000, the £4,000 has been sponsored by my uncle, and then he put back a letter from the uncle with his signature. And that was his financial statement done. Very well. Yes.
Um, um,
Yes, yes, yes,
are there, you're saying something about
yes.
um, more than 10 years, are there exceptions?
They're very strict with that. And unfortunately, it's not a LAFRA requirement, it's actually a UK requirement. This is what the UK immigration needs to see. In fact, you know, even students that are born and raised in the UK, live their whole life in the UK, they still have to prove their English before they go to uni. No one knows that they think, oh, they speak English because I'm from Nigeria. They don't know that we speak English in Nigeria. No. Even the pastors have been in the UK most of my life. Before I went to uni, they still wanted me to do my GCSE in English. So it's actually one, it's just a worldwide university requirement, and two, it's also a UK requirement. So they'll definitely want some sort of English examination that's requirement. So they're quite strict on that. But if you're able and it's everything for attendance, you only well. It takes hours to do that exam. So if you couple of hours to complete the exam, it's less than $100, and you get the results given. So it's really much easier and much cheaper compared to like an IELTS. But not every university has that student what we do. But yeah, so IELTS of course is the more common one in our widely used by all the other universities.
Sorry, a related question. So for the IELTS, do you consider the validity period when you have an IELTS over 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. No, it should definitely have to be 2 years. But I'm hearing in the future they're considering, extending this then. But as for now, it should definitely have to be done. Yeah.
I hope for
Yeah.
it's our proposal.
Yeah. 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 No, generally when they say police are the means people from business loans to apply to really fast. Generally, fully funded does have a living cost situation. Well, yeah. But I'm not 2000% sure, so I'll double check. But just from hearing the term fully funded, I believe it's happening everything. Yes. Oh, that's the question. Oh, I know you can get the green pen from the research visa, but I'm not sure if you have it again as well. So in the year, maybe in practice, yeah. Okay. The person should they can actually know that if they sourcing out more funding for this, they should be your best friend. So they should definitely be like breaking the contact with them to find out this is my situation, this is how much I would need that type of thing. Okay.
Okay, so I have two questions. The first question for the fully funded PhD, what's the time frame for the response from on your application? The closing date was February 1st. And so you made it up to that February 1st.
Yeah.
I applied for two courses. I have gotten a response for one, but I haven't gotten
Another one. Okay. Obi, give me forward me like your application or like your name,
and the reference one.
the reference number, any type of correspondence you receive from them, and then I can ask the reasons to get back to you. It's a different ballgame to like normal postgraduate courses. I don't think it's like the same time that it aims to get back to you, but I believe it was always 2 weeks. But I'll need to double check that if they haven't put it back to you that time frame.
Okay.
Postgraduate courses it should be 1 week. So in postgraduate weeks it should be about 2 weeks.
Okay, then the second
6
question.
weeks. Yeah. Or 15 March.
Yeah, you communicated.
It's not generally just like with postgraduate course, they would say like give us maybe 10 working days. But generally it's always they try and get back to students within like a week generally. But yeah, if they're saying they're giving leeway for 6 weeks, maybe give it to them before start tasting. And I'll be happy to see kind of like do a follow up to get an idea of when you get back from them. So that you're not just waiting without knowing when you can
Okay, then you spoke about what's it called your degree.
Yeah.
This course. So you said like 3.5.
Yeah.
So I want to be sure, is it 3.5 out of 5?
Oh yes, out of 5.
Oh,
For the
okay.
two, that's the 2 1, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That would be that one. Yes.
Okay, because some people make the error for those who went to school and had it out of 7. Some people make the error of just doing a quick calculation, which
Yeah.
is usually wrong for the
Yes.
conversion to
Yeah.
5 points.
So it's easy to just know that it's an equivalent of 2 1 by whatever your GPA is.
Just equivalent of
An
2.
equivalent of 2 1. Yeah. Yeah. Generally speaking. Yeah. Sadly, the daily for putting trainers today. I'm so sorry for that. But she did give me permission to share. I'm trying to take one month to reach out there. So yeah, I definitely have to know what's the be available. Okay, yeah, she's going to the presentation. So yeah, me and sure I will kind of like share with her what the people yeah. Yes. So she said the two, and I said October in January are the two official ones. And generally, they most students they also make a payment around May as well. And that is one possibly there's just cleaning. So, but yeah, the two are definitely there's the ones that are. Oh yeah,
Oh, okay, no, sorry.
yeah.
You're talking about the scholarship institution focus. I'm assuming that's the global impact scholarship.
Which one?
This is the global impact scholarship.
Global Income Scholarship, yes.
Okay. I know there's nothing like a fund school aspect about it.
Yes.
And then I sort of have a situation where I sort of keep my funds in USDT.
In US.
DT. That's in dollars or crypto dollars.
Yeah.
Is that usually because that work as a standard case? That is get it back to the market.
Like crypto.
You can answer.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is this. You say you have it in crypto.
Yeah.
I will also see you try to kind of explain this answers around.
I basically keep it there because of the competition.
I understand. I understand. See, that's why I said let me come in there. So you just have to do like a highlight. It's just for the school, it's not for education. Or you just to highlight it to explain, okay, I have it in this design, X, Y, and Z, why it's been kept here. It's money that you have access to.
Yeah.
Then, of course, it's something that is can be
Easy.
you can actually be easily. That's what they also want to show. Because the thing here is that there's a bit of skepticism around it. We just I want to look at it to understand the situation of things around you, going to have a conversation with you. That's what it is to understand. But ordinarily, there's technically, let's just put it out.
Okay, the other question is
Sorry, let me add. I believe what you want to address is your ability to print out a statement of your, can you get a statement or it's just a balance sheet? If it's
I
just
think
a
I can
balance
get
sheet,
it.
you won't be able to
Yeah, so
provide
that's
the
that's
level. So you need to show a proof of how the funds got in and then the flow and how long you have kept it for.
okay.
So if you can't produce a statement, it might be tricky.
Okay, the other question then would be could I use Naira?
Just
Oh, yeah, the
that
payments are.
Okay.
I mean, you just need the conversion of what you have. What you just need is whatever you have, you use this Wanda .com
Yeah.
to just do the conversion rate and get the exact rate.
okay.
Then you can actually use your
Dollar.
appearance.
Okay.
Use the calculator.
I will consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That's a very good question. Student ambassadors, yes, and I sort of like help manage the student ambassadors, so I'm happy to hear that there's people that are interested in that. So student ambassadors is it's obviously it's a 0 hour contract, so it's just one of those where if there's like an opportunity, like there's a careers there, or there's guests that are coming on campus, and I do this a lot of the times that I've got maybe get delegates that are coming to the university. I'll hire a couple student ambassadors to support me with it. It's not guaranteed where you know like I'm definitely going to have this many hours a week. It just ends and when the opportunities come. So most students would be student ambassadors, but they'll still have a part-time job on top of that as well. Because student ambassadors, it's not guaranteed or kind of like set hours, but it's very good money as well. So from student ambassadors, there's a lot more part-time opportunities available, not just within the university, but in Loughborough City as well. Not just in Loughborough, but there's a lot of big cities surrounding us as well. Like I know a lot of students that work, part-time in Leicester or in Nottingham because they're very close to Loughborough. Of course, I know things are changing now because a lot of jobs are now online. Back in my days, a lot of student jobs really were student jobs. That's hospitality, that's telemarketing, that's working in a restaurant, that type of thing. But now I know that there's a lot more opportunities for you guys because of the online aspect of things. But generally, some of us couldn't get serious jobs as students because it would kind of like the hours would be conflicting with your university time. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. Like I say, generally a lot of part-time students go into either hospitality, retail, telecommunications, telemarketing, or whatever it is. They go into like whether it's admin, like part-time work, that type of thing. There's definitely like opportunities. So a lot of students, you kind of stand out in the East Midlands because you've got that name on your CV. So our students, if you do want to find part-time jobs, a lot of our students generally don't struggle. We've also got our careers team don't only just help you with the big serious jobs after you graduate, they can even help you with looking for part-time jobs as well. There's even like a website called Unitemps as well, where you can see Unitemps, so UNITEMPS. It tells you all the part-time jobs that are surrounding Leicestershire and the Midlands, or all universities actually. So you see like a lot of temporary and part-time jobs in there. Then of course there's the university website, so there'll be a section where once you're given like your login details, there'll be like a job center section where you can see all the part-time jobs that are listed. There's the typical website, Indeed. I don't know if you know Indeed. There's Read. Yeah, so these are just many of the platforms that is where you can find jobs, but the university will also support you in your search for like part-time work. And you're right, 20 hours a week to work. And I know that they're planning on extending that soon, but in my personal experience or my personal advice as a student, you wouldn't want to do more than that anyway, because it's all great to say you go to a top 10 UK university. It sounds great, doesn't it? But I didn't realize that also means it comes with intense work, that they also have high expectations. No offense to official, but they're the ones setting the assignments and the exams for students. But it does get to a point where you need to focus on your studies. So really doing more than 20 hours. Personally, I don't know if that's advisable because you still have to prioritize kind of like the school. So for me, I was working part time in a retail store called Next. For those of you that might know the UK, so I'm like, still before someone knows me. Yeah, I was working there part time, doing like my part 20 hours a week. But I did get to a point, certain exam season, I just could not. So then I had to kind of like leave the job then. Some people still manage, but yeah, all this to say 20 hours should be just about enough. So I would also say this to say, I've heard a lot of students saying, I will work for my tuition when I get there, or I'll pay for my living expenses when I get there. Certainly I strongly discourage having that mentality or having that plan that you pay off your tuition from part-time work. Because for one thing, you need to have your tuition, you need to show your proof of funds anyway to the UKBI. But beyond that, it's a lot of money to try and accumulate to your studies. It's all under a lot of pressure. Now, living expenses, that's doable. Like working for maybe pocket money, food money, that's realistic. But trying to come up with, like tuition fee, you definitely like a trade yourself. So
Yeah.
I just want to comment a little bit that the for PhD in studentship is no longer 20 hours. It's reduced. If you're going to be sponsored, or you're going to be under by the university studentship, pay for PhD, you might need more than reason for that because international fee um, significantly more than UK EU fee, and your studentship will be estimated based on UK EU. So it's just logical. The university will not spend 60,000 pounds on you, will not spend £120,000 on you, 60,000 on you. And it's only fair to others as well. So if you're on a studentship, that is for PhD, it might not be 20 hours. And for undergrad, if you want to do 20 hours, it's okay for most month. We take digital registers. These digital registers are locked, and if you skip classes, you might be flagged to your work. So let's not plan around doing more than 20 hours, and let's not skip
do you have any other last questions? Any other questions?
Go to
That would be off campus. Our version of off campus just means not within the campus, like anyway. Like a lot of postgraduate students actually offer that option too. So yeah, there's like a lot of houses around in the campus that do have those two-bedroom, three-bedroom places, particularly for students that are very independent. So yeah, the off campus, given the university still has a affordable back so too about the accommodation on campus and you know it's always better to use the university because they've done a lot of research into not and so they can still know like our accommodation you can still notify places that are not just on campus as well. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay, so I'm saying give it to the week. Maybe two sometime next week, sometime next week. If you don't get anything, I'll ask for the she can kind of get you. But yeah.
I would want to ask if you can borrow the academician and that was more
Sorry, about that?
on page
Okay, absolutely.
You want me to talk about PhD students? You a prospective student or okay? So PhD work in a different
Well,
way.
another one here as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to take over the room. I can actually segregate here and then we can talk about it. Let me just give a little bit about PhD. It's a different ball game. The approach I would take towards PhD is quite different from the way you apply for university. It starts with you and then on a potential supervisor who's going to supervise you. You need to have an area of interest you want to investigate. Put together your research interest, approaches supervisor, and then if you're interested in taking on, we can advise you on the next steps. Say, for example, let's arrange an interview where you can demonstrate and articulate your competency, or you just apply and they will take you on from there. So that's a route. Another route is I have a PhD and I'm interested in finding a very, very strong and very good candidate. I can put an advert out for people to apply, which is what you guys are talking about. And in some cases, it might come with studentship. In some cases, it might not. And then when you apply, then I'll sift through and I will only apply for the best. So those are the two main routes that you can apply for.
Which one? The 20% one? Oh, so you're undergrad. Oh, great.
Can you get it from
Undergrad, unfortunately, no. If it takes sport, no. That's about, that's actually that is so well done because generally, I mean, really good grades. Because generally, like, 10, 50%. So 25 is actually the highest scoring for undergrad. And it's for first year, and the other one is scholarship. Yeah.
what you get it, and you get for the kids for subsequent years?
No, but there's, I think that's something that I know in the future they try to look at, but at the moment, no. Once you're at the uni, should you ever come into hard times or anything, it really does support. But in terms of like actual scholarships, no, there might be like grants here and there, or like the emergency fund or whatever it is. But in terms of like actual scholarship, I don't know of what network it is that is really at the moment. Yeah, yeah. I think that's all the questions. Maybe we do one more and then I'll be the last question and then we can sort of like wrap up again. MSc, yeah, I'll definitely talk to you about it afterwards because I don't want to repeat the same thing over again. But yeah, have a chat with me afterwards and I'll tell you about the story you might have. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate you all. And I know a lot of you I said the very last minute and a lot of you told me how you felt about that. So, so next time I'll definitely tell you in advance. But like I say, I might see you all at end of next month. We'll be here with the vice chancellor and a lot of senior colleagues of the university who have big fun. So I hope you do come. And we're also going to have like an alumni event. I'm going to try and see if you guys can join that very briefly so you can speak to students that actually graduate from LAFRA. But yeah, so that's it for LAFRA till end of May slash beginning of June. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. And I'm still around for a little bit longer to ask, any questions that you guys may have. It has a few refreshments available for all of you guys. I encourage you to network as well. This is how you start making friends. You have friends by the time you get to me. So yeah, network exchange, LinkedIn, whatever it is.
And we can have a chat.